Welcome to Deadly Dames. So, as you know, we put on a video asking you to pick some horror Christmas films that you'd like us to review. The first one that we did was Black Christmas and Black Xmas. We just kind of put those two together. But the third film, but it was technically the second film, that everybody wanted us to watch and review was actually All Through the House, which is the one in front of you. Now, I really don't like doing reviews which are completely negative in all aspects, so we did really try very hard to think of some positives for this film. So let's do a quick run through as to what the film's about. So it's basically, oh god, I'm going to struggle. Yeah,
okay, so it's
a bit of Psycho Santa.
Aye. The gist of it is it's set
It has a thing for penises.
It's set on a street in the suburbs, and there's a guy dressed as Santa Claus wearing this mask that's in the picture who's breaking into their houses and murdering them. That's the long and short of it.
Long and short of it. So basically the film starts off, to be honest, like the very opening scene, I actually found it kind of funny because it's like kids throwing stones at Christmas decorations.
Little kids.
And they're swearing like troopers, and that kind of made me laugh.
Well, it makes you think that, this is going to be quite funny, then this is going to be a bit of a black comedy.
But it's no, because the movie doesn't really know what it wants to be, if I'm honest with you. It kind of, sometimes it teeters on comedy and other times it plays really straight, and it doesn't. If it was me, I probably would have stuck to the comedy aspect of it, because the majority of it, I don't know if this is accurate or not, or just our idea, but the majority of the actors in this, I'm pretty sure, were porn stars.
Yep.
Because they act like porn stars. But basically you're following this Psycho Santa that goes from house to house that we're guessing's on the same street, but we never actually find out if it is the same street, because they don't really... There was no character development. Not that you really need it for people to die, but you at least need to understand that maybe this is just one street, but we don't get any of that.
Think about it this way, right? Halloween, you know that it's in the same street. You know it's in the same neighbourhood, it's in a small area, so he's not just jumping from place to place.
Because you see them like looking at the window across the road to the other house and things.
But what's going on is close to home, and it feels quite close to home in terms of like the characters, you know, that, he's not far from them. Here, you're not quite sure.
You've no idea.
There's no build-up, there's no suspense, and I think that this film has been a little bit inspired by, I would say, Halloween, Black Christmas,
Sleepaway
Camp, but it doesn't take lessons from these classic films. Instead, it uses the cliches that, well, what's a cliche now? Wasn't
basically
for
every
classics,
10 minutes you get introduced to new characters only to watch them die.
But you don't care about them though.
Nah, not at all.
No.
And it's funny because literally every second character you're introduced to is naked or in the shower, which usually you go, it's alright. But when you actually, the acting was so wooden, and the things that the characters were doing, I was just like, I don't believe or care about any of these people. You're introduced at one stage to like 3 supposed best friends, but they're acting so bad that you just don't believe that they're actually like pals at all. And then you fell asleep. Run about that part. You fell asleep when they went to like the crazy neighbour's house to help decorate. Now, I don't know what the hell they were decorating, because this woman's house was like more decorated than anything I've ever seen in my life, so I don't know why they went there to help her. And I don't even know what just started playing.
Silent Hill.
Was it? Oh well.
How can you not know that's...
I don't know. I thought I'd put on like...
Shame.
Anyway, we lost track of the movie, so... There were a couple of things that were okay about it. So I actually quite liked his mask, although they did a lot of close-ups of his face that made him look like the Jeepers Creepers guy. Well, the Jeepers Creepers Creeper. And there was a few scenes where you kind of seen the characters walking about and he was like hiding in the shadows and stuff. And if they had done it correctly, if they built the atmosphere correctly, there would have been really, really scary scenes. There's one particular scene, and I'm going to say spoiler here when I say it, because you fell asleep at this stage, where one of the friends goes outside and she's being chased by the guy. Now, there's a bit of hate in this, is because quite a few of them fight him back, but as soon as he goes down, they just stand there like, he's down now, what do I do? In reality, you keep bloody kicking the bugger when he's down, or you would run a million miles, but they just stand there. But anyway, that's that rant over. But there's one particular scene where like the characters fought him off, stands there like a dafty, and then when he gets back up she starts running towards the house. Now her friend's inside the house, facing the other way. And it's quite similar to the scene from Screen where Drew Barrymore's like going towards her parents, like her character's crawling, and they almost see her. It's similar to that scene. So the friend turns round at the window just as the girl gets pushed down by the guy to get killed. And if they had built the suspense correctly, that scene would have been really, really good. But the music was wrong, the mood was wrong, the lighting was wrong, the camera angles are wrong, and the actors were all porn stars. That's what I'm sticking to.
I'm certain they were porn stars, definitely.
I actually never finished this film. You fell asleep because you were so bored.
I think that it might have worked as just a complete comedy, because let's face it, I mean, he has a bit of a thing for chopping off penises, and they're clearly dildos that have just had like a wee bit of fake blood smeared on them.
There was one really funny scene, remember, where he chops the penis off, and then the cat in the house goes and nibbles on the penis, and then it cuts to a scene of a lass eating a hot dog.
See, if this was a comedy film, that would have been hilarious. That would have gotten a few laughs, but see, because it wasn't a comedy film, it just seemed a bit kind of off tone.
Don't get me wrong, it was obviously quite a cheap made movie. And for a movie that obviously didn't have a big budget, the effects in it are actually pretty good because they're practical effects. There's no CGI in there. But nobody fights this guy back. They just stand there and go, yeah, stick it in me. Yeah, shove it in my face. They don't actually, put a hand up or something to try and stop him. And I just was like, come on, in reality you'd be kicking and screaming all over the place trying to get him off you.
You can't root for a character that has no fight in them.
No.
You just can't.
And what was the lesbians like? We were killing ourselves laughing.
Oh, I know. The bosses like porn stars.
They did. Terrible, and we were like, oh god.
And even the guy, like the lass's boyfriend at the very start, he's trying to be sexy and he's saying to her in the shower, oh, I'm going to be ready for you. But the way that he says it is like, you don't know if he's sneering at her or if he's maybe trying to hold in like a bad fart.
I know.
And that was kind of funny, but
I just think they didn't really know what they wanted to do with this film. Personally, I would have made it a comedy, but
I think it could either worked as a comedy or worked as a proper horror film if they'd made it suspenseful.
Well, as I said, there was scenes where like the character was walking and he was in the shadows behind the door, and see if they'd played it right and they had the music right and the lighting right and all the things I said, it would have been really creepy. But it just didn't work. I got after you fell asleep, I got to a part where the big reveal happened, the shock scene that you suddenly go, the Halloween, you look at the window, oh, where's Michael Myers, or the scene in Sleepaway Camp was, oh, it's not a girl, it's a boy, it got to that scene, and by the time it got to that scene, I didn't care. I just didn't care, and I thought to myself, you know what? I've got a book which I nearly finished. I'm going to turn this off and read my book because I just didn't care.
See, what I think's a shame though is clearly whoever made this film really liked a lot of the classic horrors, and I think they took a lot of inspiration. They took a lot of wee bits from each one of them, but despite that, it still had no atmosphere. And I think it goes to show that a film that does pull a lot of good ideas and tries to clump into
Unpredictable gore fest. I predicted every kill scene before it happened.
But
sorry.
But for a film that's pulled all these like really good ideas together from loads of different like classic films, it just didn't work. And it's a shame because it maybe would have been good if it had been a comedy.
I know. I mean, don't get me wrong, and I know we've said some spoilers in this, but if you're the type of person that perhaps likes kind of maybe like shot on video type movies, that kind of lighting, lighting that's almost like daytime TV lighting, and likes to look at people that are obviously porn stars and likes to watch people die horribly, because as I said, the effects are actually pretty good in it. They're predictable. You can see them coming a mile away, but they are actually very bloody and gory. If you like that type of movie, then go for it. Watch this film. However, if you're someone that's like us, that kind of grew up watching Halloween and Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and all these amazing horror films that got it right. They got the music and the atmosphere and stuff and suspense. Because a big part of what I love in a horror film is suspense. I like the build up. I actually like the easiest way to put it is less is more sometimes, and this movie could have really benefited from that. Maybe they didn't need to have so many characters with their boobs out in shower scenes and getting their penises chopped. Maybe they just needed to have a small group where you actually got to know, so that you actually cared when they died, rather than going, oh, like, there's another one that's dead, oh, there's another penis that's off, you know. I personally, I'm not going to bother watching the end of this movie. I've got other movies there that I prefer to put on over this one. I know you've said you're not going to bother watching anymore either.
No.
And it's definitely going into a trade-in pile, but...
Maybe it gets better in the last 5 minutes, but I think you got to the point of the great reveal, and
still, what
can you do after the reveal?
More people die, maybe some more penises. Maybe penises rain from the sky, who knows. But maybe the Santa comes in and opens up his sack and it's full of penises.
That's I think that's for a different channel, Mandy.
But anyway, as I said, hopefully this review I don't really like doing reviews that are completely negative, so we have tried to find some positive aspects. As I said, there's some really good scenes that they set up, and had they got, in my opinion, the music and the lighting, etc. right, then this movie would have worked. I did like the gore. I think that less would have been better, because I would have preferred to care about the characters who were actually dying for this particular type of movie. It was nice to see at least somebody attempt a new slasher, Christmas slasher. And I'm glad that I gave it a go, but I certainly am not going to bother trying to watch it again or watch the end. I think I can go without it. So, sorry if I've put anybody off buying it, or anybody who has bought it. Still put it on, see what you think, and if you've watched it...
It's a 12-minute rant. I don't think anybody is going to watch it.
But if you've watched this movie and you took something different from it and you would recommend that we watch the end, certainly leave us some comments below. But as always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and go and leave some comments on our help us pick our movie reviews, because we've got so many to be watched movies that sometimes it's just difficult to decide which one to pick up and watch. So it's always good to prompt us, or I was going to say probe us, but that's like going back to the penis conversation, isn't it?
I forgot. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.
Bye.